Hello, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. So this week, I'm really excited as I sit in my chair. This is a week of posture. Now, I'm not talking about sitting upright, not talking about slouching. I'm talking about Paul's posture language in the book or letter we call Ephesians. This is a letter that Paul wrote to be circulated to a lot of different churches around Ephesus, which is in Turkey around Izmir today, pretty close. And Paul in that letter uses three different posture words for the Christian. And if you're a Christian watching this, these three words are extremely important. If you're not a Christian and you're watching this out of interest or something like that, then you may find this interesting anyway. The first one is seated. In the second chapter, the 6th verse, Paul talks about how the Christian is seated with Christ at the right hand of God. Now, this is important because in chapter 1, Paul explains that Jesus came to earth, he died for the sins of humanity, was resurrected from the dead, and seated at the right hand of God. Now, this idea of Christ being seated in the heavenlies is an indication that his work is done. He's taken his seat. And so in chapter 2, when Paul talks about the Christian being seated with Christ, Paul's not saying that the Christian is in the center of heaven's throne and to be worshiped and adored by all. No, Paul's not referencing location. Paul's referencing position. Christ, when he finished his work, atoning for the sins, paying the price for humanity's sin, Christ, when he did that for us. And so I look at my life and I know I'm not perfect before God, and I know I make lots of mistakes. There are things I really ought to be doing that I don't do. There are things I should refrain from doing, and I just find myself either doing them or flirting with doing with them. Either way, I'm not adequate to be in fellowship with the divine God. But Christ is adequate, and he is in that fellowship, and he is seated in the heavenly places. And as a Christian, my posture begins with that same seated in Christ. So if Christ is in the heavenlies, and if Christ is resting, then as a Christian, even though I'm in this world and still in this body and still struggling day to day with all of the things life throws at me, I can take confidence knowing that the victory has already been won. I know the end result. I'm just living it out till we get there. More posturing tomorrow, but that's your video thought for the day.